So, signing the contract. Have to sign a construction contract. Yesterday I met clients, wonderful, highly intelligent people, very nice, and there is a disagreement about outstanding work that has to be done and how it's going to be done, when it's going to be done, and who's going to do it. And I was waiting to hear the horror show that they hadn't signed a contract, and they had, and they signed a robust contract, and they were fully aware of what they were doing. They had been through this process before in a different jurisdiction. They had done their homework. They highly self-sufficient people, very resourceful, very clever, very funny, ridiculously funny, very decent, very calm at the same time. And while they're in the middle of the storm, that's the one thing I took. There's an unbelievable calmness to them, and the reason that the calmness was there because they signed the contract. They have legal recourse, as does the builder. So within that framework, both parties have some merits and some validations of their sides. It is when people haven't signed a contract and haven't signed a contract or don't have a specifications related to it, that's when the chaos comes in. And I encourage builders as much as homeowners to sign the contract. The more you sign, the more you're covered. I would say when I was in restoration, when I was in construction, small jobs probably didn't have contracts. I had a working relationship with the client, and that was suffice. When I was in the States doing restoration projects, there would have been a form of contract. It wouldn't have been that binding, wouldn't have been that detailed, but it would have been sometimes, a lot of times, handshakes. Didn't really matter too much because I actually had, so at one stage I was painting these wonderful buildings in San Francisco called Painted Ladies, and they're the Georgian Victorian buildings of the city made of timber that all of a sudden were all white, and then amazing colours of San Francisco came in, and you had guys like Bob Booker, the external, what a lovely gent he was. Bob Booker was a painter, and then he became an external colour consultant, and he wrote phenomenal books about the city and colour schemes. So this kind of took on a life of itself, and what I used to do was I had a backup crew. I had a backup 2 guys that were additional to the crews, worked with the crews, but any time that they're needed backup, touch-ups, anything to be revisited, I would send the 2 guys. And also, as well, I would visit back the jobs a year later. Each job got visited back a year later. And call by, I'd send the guys. We had text messages back then. We were using emails, not really using them. Text messages, and I had it in my calendar jobs, and I just text them and say all good. And it was costly, it was difficult, and then taking them away, but the sustainability for my business was unbelievable, because people knew not only do I have to chase him, but he's actually chasing me. The guy's coming and chasing me. So that was quite an extraordinary thing looking back on it. But the reality is, contracts were signed, and they weren't signed when they didn't need to be. But 99 times out of 100, you get into general construction, they need to be signed. Then you have situations where you have historical relationships like my father did when he was a builder in Mount Mary, nothing was signed. Nothing was signed. He'd see half of his clients at Mass in the morning. He'd see the other one in the shops during the day. He'd see the rest of them wandering around the park at night time. He'd see others of them down the shop. He'd see more of them looking at their kids playing football as they went for a walk in the park. You'd see more of them coming in to play bridge with my mother. So it was a system that guaranteed, a social system that guaranteed interdependency and thus moral correctness of values and social mirroring. That's a little bit unusual these days. So, sign the contract. Thanks, guys. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for sharing time with me. Really appreciate it. Take care.